Hi guys, so I'm back with the next baby's story, and this is of course Maisie. So Maisie's story goes like this. So as you all know, this baby used to be on Yvonne's channel, My Little Tulip, and I don't believe I had seen the Maisie sculpt before I saw her on Yvonne's channel. I believe that was my first introduction to the Maisie sculpt. And Maisie is sculpted by Andrea Arcello. So when Yvonne received this baby, which by the way, I won't forget this, she received this baby the same day that I received Landon. So we both got brand new babies on the same day, which was really cool. I remember Skyping with each other that day after we had done their box openings. So they shared a birthday at that time. And I was in love with Landon, and I absolutely loved this baby too. And as you know, Yvonne had named her Zoe. So she was known as Zoe there on her channel. And I was in love with Zoe. And then when the more I saw her, the more I loved her. I was like, this is the happiest looking baby. She, like, you can't help but smile when you look at her because she's just smiling so big. And that's something that I've always loved about Andrea Arcello babies. She does a lot of smiling babies, and she knows the correct way to sculpt smiling babies. It's not just sculpting a smile in the mouth, but she sculpts it in the eyes as well. You can just see that the whole face is lit up. There's a spark in her eyes. She's got that crinkle sculpted in the eyes that makes it look like the eyes are also smiling. And that's something I've always admired about Andrea Arcello babies. So the more I saw this baby on Yvonne's channel, the more I loved her. And I was like, I really wish I could get my hands on a Maisie kit. Now, by then, they were sold out. It was a limited edition kit. They were sold out. I did go on Dolphin, and I asked if anyone had a kit they were willing to part with, could they sell it to me? So I did acquire a kit that way, and I had Michelle from Michelle Country's Cradle paint the kit for me. Then when I got the kit back, I sent her to Bonnie Kephart to be rooted. Bonnie is an amazing rooter. She re-rooted my toddler Grace, and Grace's new hair is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, Bonnie knows how to root really well. So I sent her to be rooted because I've always loved rooted hair, even though it's kind of annoying because it gets messy more, often, but I have always loved the feel of rooted hair. And so I figured, I didn't want to try to copy this baby. I wanted something a little different, and I wanted the rooted hair and all that stuff. Well, I got the head back, and I, trimmed the hair to what I thought was a style that I would want. And I ended up, I think, cutting off a little more than I thought. And no matter what I tried, I just could not bond with the baby at all. I couldn't figure out what it was. Paula and Marilyn both could tell that I wasn't happy with the baby no matter what I tried to do. I tried to dress her in all different outfits, and I was always nitpicking on her hair, and her hair would get messy really easily. And not to knock Bonnie, she did a beautiful rooting job, and the hair was Delta Dawn, and it was really soft, but for whatever reason, it got messy very easily. And then, a couple of people said that she looked like a boy, and that kind of bothered me too because I didn't want a boy, I wanted a girl. And when they mentioned it, it was like, yeah, I think the haircut that I gave it, kind of gave it a boyish look. And so I kept trying and trying all kinds of things to bond with the baby, and it just wasn't happening. And then I went and visited Yvonne in November and got to see this particular baby in person, and oh my gosh, I was just so in love. And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, this is why I can't bond with mine that's back at home, is because this is the one that I really love. And honestly, like, I've seen lots of cute Maizies done out there, but there's something about the way this one was done in particular. There's just something about this version of the kit that I am in love with, and I think this is what's in my mind, and I compare every single one of them with this, and they just aren't the same to me. So I was like, oh man, you know, I just really loved her. And so that's where I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's not this baby that I have. It's a totally different one, and it's just not working for me. So fast forward to January, I come to find out Yvonne was parting with Zoe and was going to be sending her back to her artist. And I immediately contacted both the artist and Yvonne and just said that I would love to have this baby because I am just not bonding with my Maisie, and I would sell my Maisie in a heartbeat to get this one. And that's basically what ended up happening, because I told Amanda, I just said, if you ever decide to part with her, please let me know. I will gladly buy her. And she just flat out offered her to me. She just said, I would really like you to have her. So that's what we did. And thankfully, Lori, who I had met at the Reborn Mummy meetup in Arizona in November, was in love with my Maisie, and so she adopted that one and turned her into a boy, which was perfect, because once we dressed him as a boy, I was like, that's what it was. Like, this one was meant to be a boy, and that was probably another reason why I wasn't bonding. So she turned him into a boy, named him Mason, and then I adopted this baby from Yvonne, and I am so glad that everything worked out, because this is another baby that I am absolutely in love with. In my opinion, her and Landon are my go-to babies in my collection. I absolutely adore them. And again, she is a dream to dress, just like Landon is. And so I absolutely love that. And I actually really, really love the look that the painted hair gives her. It gives her more of a baby look, which I really love. And I love that I don't have to worry about messing it up. So, you know, when I'm gonna go on an outing, again, she's one of my go-tos for outings because I don't have to worry about her hair getting messed up, which I really like. So she is a very, very special baby to me, especially because she comes from my dear friend Yvonne. And I feel like Yvonne put some of her essence into this baby. And so I feel like, you know, Yvonne and I, we don't live close enough to see each other all the time. You know, she's in Arizona and I'm all the way here in Toronto, Canada. So we don't get to see each other often unless we Skype. And so this is almost like a little piece of her in my home. And so this baby is very, very special to me. And unfortunately, I had to change her name. I would have loved to have kept her name Zoe, but I already have the Pixie kit in my collection who is named Zoe. And I just didn't want to have two Zoes in my collection. I didn't want there to be any confusion on which Zoe I was referring to in my videos. So I just stuck with the name of her sculpt, which was Maisie. And when I had my other Maisie sculpt, I had also just kept the name Maisie because I actually really, really love that name. It's the first time that I love a name that the sculpt comes with. And I felt like Andrea Arcello picked a great name. It really suits her. And so I just kept her name Maisie. And that's what she goes by. So let's get started on her details then. So she arrived here at my place February 1st of 2017. And she is, like I said, she's the Maisie sculpt by Andrea Arcello, and she was reborn by Amanda Hannon of Babies of Chrysalis Meadows. That's Mandy Hannon's nursery name is Babies of Chrysalis Meadows. So she is 22 inches. For some reason, the website says that her kid is supposed to be 21 inches, but I believe she's more like 22 inches since Landon is 21, and I've put them side by side, and she seems a little bit longer to me. So I'm going with 22 inches. She weighs 7.13 pounds. And so she is a heavy baby, which I usually am not big on heavy babies, but I really like the way that her weighting is done. She feels very, very realistic in my arms, so I haven't taken any weight out of her. I actually really like her weight. So with Maisie, she usually I can get away with getting her 0 to 3 or 3 months, especially in dresses or onesies. But certain outfits, especially ones that have pants, or if I'm specifically buying pants separately, I usually need to get 3 to 6 months or 6 months because her legs are very, very chunky. And so 3 months pants usually are too small for her. So I've come to find different brands are a little bit different. So there's been some trial and error with getting clothes for her. She hasn't been quite as easy as Landon, but now that I've pretty well figured it out, I can shop pretty easily for her now just by looking at things. So like, for example, Gymboree, if I was to go with Gymboree, she usually can wear their 0 to 3 month dresses. Usually can squeeze into 0 to 3 months in onesies. I can also go with 3 to 6, but they are a little bit big, so I try to shrink them down a tiny bit. But if it's pants, I go with the 3 to 6. In Carter's, I can usually get away with the 3 month size onesies, but pants have to be 6 months. And if I'm gonna buy one of the sets that comes with a onesie and pants, I go with 6 months just because obviously 3 months the pants won't fit. So then I have to deal with the onesie being a little bit big, but that's okay. So those are kind of how I figured things out with the brands. When it comes to like Koala Baby, she's usually 3 to 6 months in that. Some of their rompers she can get away with, I think, 0 to 3. I could be wrong on that. Maybe I still go with 3 to 6 on that. But yeah, you know, like this dress here I bought at Winners. This is I believe Jillian's Closet brand, and it is a 0 to 3 month dress. And you know, it has a onesie kind of built in, and it's a stretchy onesie, so there's, you know, it's just fits, but the dress itself, like, it's great. It's not too long. So, and it, you know, it's a little bit snug here in this section, but I think it works. If I was to go up a side, it would probably be too baggy in the shoulder area. So that is that. All right, guys, so now we're gonna go over Maisie's details, and the first thing I'm gonna show you is her painted hair because it is stunning. It's a dark brown and it's painted very sparse at the front. There's lots of baby hairs at the front, and then thicker towards the back. She has a beautiful swirl, and she's got all these little wispy pieces of hair by the nape of her neck. It looks super realistic. There, her ears are beautiful. Yvonne had pierced her ears, so she has little diamond studs. Her eyebrows, as you can see, are very realistically painted, very detailed and wispy. And Amanda did something really amazing with her eyes. She rooted eyelashes here, but also underneath, she also painted some eyelashes. And I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but like here's the hairs rooted here. And if I pull them back, you can see there is the painted eyelashes. So it kind of adds dimension, which is really cool. She's got her little tear ducts highlighted. And then here are her gorgeous eyes. And I hope you can see the color of them okay. They are, I believe, a hazel color. And it's really hard to capture the color with the shadows and all that. Yeah, so it's like a hazily color, but there's greens and browns in there. The light reflects them so nice. Like it just looks like her eyes are gleaming. And she has a shaded nose. Her lips have a little bit of a sheen, and then her tongue has a wet look to it. And as you can see, her cheeks are nice and rosy. And the thing that I love about this baby is that she has a very olive skin tone. So I don't really know what kind of ethnicity I would consider her. She's definitely not Caucasian. She definitely has a very nice olive skin tone to her. Here's her arm. So to me it almost, I don't know what I would consider this. Do any of you guys know what you would consider it for skin tone wise? I just say it's an olive skin tone, but I don't really know ethnicity or whatever, but I love it. And then she's got really pink nail beds. I personally find her nail beds are a little bit too red, but honestly it's not that big a deal to me because she's gorgeous in all other ways. But there's her nails. Let me see if I can show you. Her arm wants to keep going back on me. Here we go. Okay, so there. Let's see if we can see them a little bit better. So the way that they're painted, they have a lot of red towards the bottom, and then they kind of lighten up as they go towards the top. And Amanda didn't even really do much of a nail tip because a lot of babies don't really have very visible nail tips because they're usually trimmed very short. But I do think they're a little too red in some spots. I would probably have painted those a little bit differently, but like I said, honestly, it's such a small minor thing to me that the rest of her is perfect, so I'm not too bothered by it. It's just an observation that I had. And I'd like to try and see if I can get her arm to stay up so you guys can get a better look at her. There we go, at her palm. So this hand is open. This is the right hand. Her thumb's a little bit bent and some of her fingers are kind of curling, but her hand is fully open. All the fingers are all separated, which is really lovely. And then her left arm is open. The hand is open as well, except for her pinky is curled down, as you can see. And then she's got one little finger sticking up in the air so that it shows movement, which I like. And again, her skin tone is just gorgeous. And she has some little beauty marks. She has one here on her left shoulder. And I'm usually not a big fan of beauty marks. But with her, I don't know, just everything about her is so awesome that I'm, you know, things that I usually wouldn't like, I like. And I apologize, guys, because I'm doing this on my good camera and I have to keep adjusting the focus manually. So sorry if it comes in blurry at parts. I'm trying to just give you good close-ups of her details. And as you can see here, you can actually see the skin texturing. See that? You can see the skin texturing on her. It's a really nice texture. It's not rough. It's very smooth, and it just has a slight sheen to it, and I really like it. I feel like it adds durability to her. I feel like she's very durable. So here's her toes. As you can see, they're very rosy underneath. Very detailed. And there's her little toenails. Same as her fingernails. And her foot and her leg. And she's got nice rosy knees. And then she's got sorry, I'm trying to get out of the way so that there's no shadows. So there, you can kind of see some veining in there. And let's see, I know she has some other birthmarks on her legs. Yeah, there's one on her thigh, her right thigh. Right up there, little brown beauty mark. And I think she might have one on the other leg too. Or maybe it's just the arm and the leg. Okay, no, it's just the one on the left arm and the one on the right leg. And then there's her other leg. And her other foot. So that's all her detailing and coloring. She is just an all-around gorgeous baby. Okay, and finally here she is naked. This is her cloth body. Hopefully you can see it okay, because I know she's sitting up, and laying down would probably give you a better idea. But basically, I came to know just from the cloth body that came with the Maisie kit I purchased when I had mine made, my old one made. The body that it came with was horrible. It had side-loading legs, so it gave her frog legs. It was awful. So I asked Yvonne where the body for her Maisie came from, and it is from Rhonda Scott. I believe it is Rhonda Scott. She's in the UK and she makes these beautiful custom bodies. And so when I had my other Maisie, I got the same body for that one too. So it's this beautiful cloth body. It's made perfectly proportioned for her. It has the front loading legs, so that because Maisie's legs are so chunky and they are bent, they're slightly bent, that if you have them side loading like this, it makes her bow-legged or looks like a frog. But with the front loading, it gives it a very natural look. So I love that. It has a little bit of a gathered chest, very similar to Landon's body, only made more proportionate for this kit because her limbs and her head are a lot bigger and chunkier than what Landon's is. And then if I can kind of scooch her, this is her bum. So she has the gathered tushy as well on the body. So yeah, anyone that had that hideous Maisie side loading body, if you're looking for a new proportioned body, go check out Rhonda Scott on Facebook. She makes beautiful bodies. This one is like nice and soft. It's the perfect proportion. So anyways, guys, that concludes Maisie's story on how I got her, all of her details. So like I said, a quick rundown again. It's the Maisie kit by Andrea Arcello, Reborn by Amanda Hannon. The kit, she is 22 inches, weighs 7.13 pounds, wears 3 months or 3 to 6 months clothing. So there she is, beautiful baby with painted hair, and I love it, and I love her, and she's just so happy all the time that I don't think I can ever look at her and not smile because she's just so sweet. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you want to see the stories of my other babies, don't forget to check the link in the description below to my Meet the Babies playlist. And we'll see you in the next video with more Dolly stories. Bye, guys.
A smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wander? My hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in. So the days became weeks, it felt just like the night before.